Hello, my dear 102 students. We have made it. We are here, the final week of this crazy semester. I am really sorry that our class had to be disrupted because although I've done my best, I know for sure that you did not get the same learning experience that we would have had if we'd all been able to meet together in person. And I also know that many of you had to pick up jobs or had some crazy family situations or schedule changes or lack of internet. We had lots and lots of problems and dealing with lots of crazy schedules and responsibilities. And yeah, it's just been a crazy time. So I want to congratulate all of you for sticking with it, for finishing off the work in this class and getting it through. So I'm going to start with just a few announcements about grades. I thought it'd be better to talk through these things than to try to write them out. I don't know if that's better for you or not. But I hope that you are aware, you should be aware that you have until December of this year to decide to take credit or no credit. So you'll be able to see your final grades before you make that decision. And I don't know what implications it will have for your individual programs or your individual educational tracks. So you'll want to talk with advisors before making that decision and figure those things out. But for those of you who are still still working really hard to get a good grade in this class and want the credit for it for your GPA, I really have been trying to make this as easy as possible. So I've basically given up on due dates. All of your assignments still have due dates listed, but we don't have late penalties anymore. My goal is always to submit grades by the end of finals week. So check the grade roster. I have not got everything updated yet. I don't have everything input yet. I'm still working on catching up on all of that. But check and see if you have any missing assignments. Check and see if there's anything that you need to make up. And as long as it's not like a peer review or something like that, then you should be able to submit it and get what points you can for it. Yeah, just check and make sure that you're as up to date as you possibly can. There is no final in this course. I haven't had anyone ask me that yet, but that's usually a question that comes up frequently. This last project, this unit for video presentation, this is the last thing you have to do. So as soon as you finish that and get it submitted, you're done. That's it for this class, right? So just no finals after that. And then one final reminder about the grade situation. Don't forget that this course is weighted, right? Each of the 4 unit projects have a different weight, and then all of the other homework sort of mixed together in a final column, weighted column. And what's on Blackboard does not represent that weighting yet. So what you see on Blackboard right now is just raw scores. So be aware of that at the very end of the semester, once I have everything in there, that's when I configure the weighted grade columns. Blackboard does weighting weirdly, and I've found in the past that it works best for me to insert the weighted columnness at the end of the semester. So just know that the grade that's on there right now is not necessarily your final grade. So if you're super worried about that, if you're really anxious about knowing what your final grade is going to be, the weighted columns, the numbers are all listed on the syllabus. You're welcome to try and calculate it yourself. Or you can just wait till the end of finals week when hopefully I'll have everything updated to Blackboard and you can take a look at it there. But at any time, if you ever have any questions about what's going on with your grade, just send me an email and I can absolutely help you out. All right, and one more announcement. Please remember to fill out your course evaluations. They're very different this semester. you should have gotten an email about it. It's just an online evaluation. They've simplified it this year. I think it's only about 4 questions or so. It shouldn't take you very long. And I believe you have until Sunday, May 10th to complete it. They're important to the university. The university really values your feedback, so don't forget about those. Make sure you get that done. All right, I just want to give now a few verbal instructions or reiterate just a few things for this final Unit 4 project. Everything is in the assignment sheet or the rubric, but hopefully just to help emphasize my expectations, I want to talk through a few things here. So first, I just want to remind you all, or just reiterate and emphasize and underline that your video presentation, whatever it is that you end up submitting, needs to have both a visual component and a verbal component, right? So you do need to have talking. If you're doing a PowerPoint, you do need to have recorded voiceover, right? Or do the PowerPoint video mashup that I did, right? So that I hear your voice presenting and see the visual of the PowerPoint. Honestly, a super easy option is to record yourself on your phone, just like I'm doing right now, and hold up whatever visual sort of thing that you want as part of your presentation. Okay, that's a really simple option. But yes, you do need to have verbal voice and some sort of visual, right? What I'm looking for is a balance between those two modes, right? I want your visuals to be doing work, to be communicating your research, be illustrating your concepts and your points, and be useful visuals. And I need your voice to be doing work as well, right? Like if you're doing PowerPoint or something like that, I don't want you to have a bunch of words on your visual slide and then you just read them word for word, because A, that makes for a little bit of a boring presentation, and B, it means that they're doing the same load of work, right? They should be sharing the load and how they communicate your message. So that's why I had you look at the TED Talks last week, right? Because I feel like the TED Talks do a really good job of balancing, not necessarily time-wise, right? Like, especially for the talks themselves, the majority of the talk is just that person talking. But what the visuals do is they add and they support. So think about that as you're planning your presentation. How are the two modes being balanced? And then finally, I just want to remind you all that this does not have to be high tech. I am not grading your video editing skills here at all. Right? It can just be on your phone like this. It does not have to be fancy. Just as long as you're meeting expectations, it's totally going to work. I don't want this to be a hard or a stressful thing at all. Hopefully it'll be fun and sort of easy for you. If you have any other questions about this project, email me, reach out to me, let me know. I will answer whatever questions you have. I am very much looking forward to watching your presentations when they come in on Friday, right? Due Friday at midnight. Okay, enough with announcements. Time for sort of my final message for the semester. I know that many of you are not English majors or even English minors, although you should be. You should at least consider it. And for many of you, this will be possibly the last English class that you ever take, depending on your program or what requirements are in your future academic career. This could be it. So here's what I want you to take with you from this class. First, I hope that you come away with an awareness that language affects everything we do as humans. Language is one of the most important inventions or tools or cognitive milestones we've developed as a species. It impacts everything. So even if you never take another English course in your life, you will continue to speak and read and write every day for the rest of your life. You just can't get away from it. So don't ignore that. Don't think that you can live your life well without ever thinking about how language is impacting the way that you communicate with others, the way that you do your work, and even the way that you think, right? It's one of the big reasons that I had you study language topics. Well, first, because it's interesting for me, but second, because I'm sort of passionate about this idea that language is important to living good lives. And so don't take it for granted. Now, this course was specifically about research and writing. So I also hope that you come out of this course with a new appreciation for what research is and how you can participate in it. Research is this huge conversation, right? Since the beginning of the invention of language, we've been sitting around talking to each other about what we know, about what we think, and about what we've learned. And we've been asking questions. So, hold it up again. Remember back to Frindle? Remember Nick? That story just sort of epitomized the research cycle that I wanted you to take out of this class. That we do. We ask questions. We're full of questions. And then what do we do with those questions? Well, we do research. We do research to find some answers to those questions. We read what everyone else has already said about that question. And if after we've done all of that research, we find that we still have questions, that we still have need answers, well then, what we can do is primary research, right? We can collect our own data. We can look at our own samples, do our own experiments, invent new words, do what we need to do to find answers to those questions. That's our primary research. This is a process that you will engage in for the rest of your life. You will have questions, you will look for those answers, and you may have to do your own work to find those answers. And this isn't even just academically or career-wise. This is in your real life, and you do this every day, right? You have a question, you Google it, right? That's doing research. You go down the rabbit hole, you look for things, you try to figure out the answer, and you'll be doing this for everything for the rest of your life. And so what I hope you got out of this course was some skills to help you with that process, some skills about thinking critically about your sources, about where you're finding information, evaluating those sources. Are these good sources, right? Can I trust these sources? And then thinking about, well, how can I figure this out myself? How can I do the research myself? What's the best way to go about analyzing and synthesizing and getting all of these ideas together in a way that really answers the questions that I have. All I want to say is that I hope you were able to get something out of this class that will help you, either in your future academic work, your future career, and in your real life. And that's all I have to say now. I have so enjoyed working with all of you this semester. And if you ever need anything from me in the future, letters of recommendation or advice or help with anything, please feel free to reach out to me. I am more than willing to help. And I hope that you have a great summer, and I hope things get less crazy for all of us, and that we can be back on campus next semester. And I wish you all the best of luck with everything.